Thirdly, we will have to prioritize the further development of social housing. And also not only social housing, but affordable housing for our people. I don't know if you know, but at this particular moment, we have approximately 4,000 families, not individuals, but families that do not have a decent housing above their head. I do believe that we have a responsibility for those in need of housing. The waiting list is too long. Fourthly, we will have to combat poverty in this country. Poverty is overtaking this community in a way that it is challenging the norms and values of our people. This combating of poverty is not only increasing the cash amount in your pocket to make you feel good that you can be a bigger spender. No. It has to do with a multi-dimensional approach to combat poverty. And then I'm thinking about accentuating and improving education in this country. Improving our border control, because with the way we are dealing with our border control, we're going to continue importing poverty in this country. We have to be critical with the limited aid that we give as government to the social welfare of our country. And at least we have to establish a minimum living wage for our society. And we have to start working on something that impresses me every day, seeing our failure to deal with our mental health care in our society. I'm driving around in my car, and every day, and you can agree with me in this one, we see more and more new faces of young people walking next to our roads. And the scary part of it is that we are considering them as normal furniture of the views that you can absorb as someone driving around in St. Martin. It is not even shaking us anymore when we see all those mental challenged young people walking here on the streets and roads of St. Martin. We will have to start being serious with a comprehensive mental health care for country St. Martin. Dear people, the only way to move forward a country like St. Martin is to work on what I call, and everybody calls it, nation building. But there is a difference how I see it. We have to take it out of the context of using that word to use, it's all good for nation building. We have to start now to present our people with tangible developments that will really move their heart, that they realize that something great is happening with their country, offer them a future. Let us start making this concept of a nation building tangible for our people. What do I mean with that? I mean with, for example, imagine that we have a national police academy for our St. Martin. That would be great to contribute for our justice system, right? Secondly, let's recognize our national university in a way of a national ordinance. in a way that we have it by law registered in a way that higher education and scientific research is absolutely recognized in our country. The way we are dealing with this USM without giving it a body of a national ordinance is not going to help St. Martin. Think on, for example, something very simple, a well-equipped national library for country St. Martin. Can you imagine we're talking about the concept of country status, and we do not even have a decent national library for our country? I want, as Prime Minister of this country, a national development bank for my people. Even if I get resistance, we are going to push this project. Let us further define education. We are putting our kids every day in buses, drive around with them, stagnation of traffic. After 15, 14 years having the status of country, if I need tomorrow a nurse or an educator in my country, I still have to import this professional from another country, while every day I'm packing the buses, bringing children all over the place in this country. It's time for us to start adjusting our education system to actually the necessities of our labor market instead of just entertaining them with an education program.
For all of life's twists, turns, and defining moments, RBC is a blend for all of you.
SXM, your social and health insurance. SXM, your social and health insurances.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social and health insurances.
Confidence in me to consider me capable of successfully holding this critical position, I would like to express deepest gratitude to my father, mother, family, and friends for their love and unwavering support. Without them, I could not be here today. As I look towards those family members present, my heart is pained by the one member missing. My beloved Pops, who we recently lost. I know that this would have been a proud moment for him, as he is dearly, dearly missed. And to my son, Know that you are the reason I strive to lead by example. I want you to know that with faith, courage, and determination, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. And to every member of our society, I promise to give my all, to listen to your recommendations regarding what is needed to improve your quality of life and that of your family. I aim to be a strong leader who will govern with integrity, courage, wisdom, empathy, discernment, and compassion. I care deeply about my role in this pivotal ministry. I acknowledge its significance and the impact it has on the people's daily lives and our country's future. To my fellow Council of Ministers, may our united efforts be blessed so that we will be protected, motivated, and energized as we embark on this journey of hope and hard work. And together, may we make great strides towards the continuous advancement of St. Martin, for St. Martin and its people. I thank you, and may God bless the people of St. Martin.
The Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Transport and Telecommunication, which I now have the honor and privilege to lead, is seen as an engine behind an economic development. The state of our economy can only therefore be measured more or less by what happens and doesn't happen in TIAT. While it is my intention to have a quick scan done in order to give a more realistic picture of what our current situation actually is, it does not take a rocket scientist to see that our economy is far from the best shape. True, we have faced some unprecedented challenges in the last decade, including the incredible devastation caused by Hurricane Irma in 2017 and the global shutdown of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. But we can't blame our present predicament on those two events alone. If we start with our Princess Juliana International Airport, we see that it has fallen from being named the best airport in the Caribbean in 2016 to not even being in the top 10 of the best today. True, it suffered massive destructions at the hands of Irma, but how do we explain that what took a couple years to build is taking almost 7 years and counting to repair? The airport is not only the main gateway to our island, it is the heart of our economic activity. There may be days when we do not have cruise calls, but can we stop and imagine a day without planes landing at our airport? That would be like a whole island, our entire island, suffering from a cardiac arrest. That is how important Princess Juliana International Airport is to our economy. 7 years waiting to finally get back on its feet is way too long. In that period, it has lost its hub function as developments in Anguilla, Dominica, and the BVI and elsewhere demonstrate. These islands once considered PGIA their own international airport as well. However, it is unreasonable to expect them to wait until we get our act together. Time waits for no one, and they have moved on, unfortunately. Time is a major economic factor which one cannot buy. It is time for us to realize that simple truth and do whatever is necessary to restore our airport back to its glory days. Similarly, I'm sure you'll still remember when we used to brag about our harbor. We apparently lost those bragging rights as well. Gone are the days, however, when St. Martin Harbor used to be the first to welcome the newest cruise ships to the region. We have seen not long ago how the largest cruise ship in the world made its maiden voyage first to St. Kitts before it called to St. Martin 2 weeks later. We are losing ground in the cruise sector also, and it is time to regain our prime position in that field as well. Do I need to remind you of how Telem has fallen to the point of having layoff employees? Who has not felt the heat of GEBE crisis, from the astronomical bills to the constant load shedding and even blackouts? Or shall I talk about the prohibitive gasoline prices at the pumps? In this atmosphere, inflation has blasted off like a rocket into space. Gone are the days when you spent $100 in a supermarket and needed help to carry your shopping bags into your car. Today, that same 100 of groceries will hardly fill one bag. This is how the ordinary man and women is experiencing our economy today. This is how tough times has become for everyone, resulting in social ills like growing youth employment and increasing number of people, men and women as well, begging. I'm not trying to paint a picture of doom and gloom here. This is unfortunately the situation on the ground. We cannot bury our heads in the sand and pretend that all is well with us. It is time to tell ourselves the bitter truth, for indeed, it is the only truth that shall set us free. I know there'll be those who will say that I'm exaggerating and that a lot has been done in the past years, or that perhaps I'm seeing the glass half empty instead of half full. But what I am saying is what the majority of the people of St. Martin are living. It is what I hear. It is what I see and often experience myself on a daily basis. Let us not continue to deceive ourselves. We are sinking in debt, and yet we keep criticizing those who are singing the Mighty Gabby song, "Captain, the ship is sinking." May I remind us that one of the main reasons we abandoned the Netherlands Antilles in 2010 was because it was sinking in debt. Ladies and gentlemen, the election is over. The results are in. The time for politicking is over. It is now time to govern. Time to do the people's business and deliver on our campaign promises. As I assume this office today, I do not feel a time for a honeymoon period. There will be no honeymooning for me at all. I will hit the ground working, and I have already begun consultation with many stakeholders prior to taking office. And I can assure you that as a policy, constant consultation will be my motto. I am the 12th minister of Tiat. That's the most ministers in a ministry. That's an average of one minister of Tiat every year. Talk about stability. No wonder the economy is in the state that it is. But let me state this clearly. I have the utmost respect for my predecessors, and I can promise you that I will not be reinventing the wheel. I will practice continuity where the initiatives and plans are in place and respond to the needs and aspirations of the people of St. Martin. The main question I will ask myself before taking any decision is it in the overall interest of the people of St. Martin? Because that is what I took an oath today to promote and defend. To do this, however, we need to establish a collective vision of where we want to go. I intend to dust off the tourism master plan and update and upgrade it and adapt it to present-day situations to see how it aligns with the national development vision. We have been losing market share and are being overtaken by others in a very, very competitive industry, which we dominated not long ago. But if we did it before, I am convinced we can do it again. I will work closely with all stakeholders, SHTA, the labor unions, Chamber of Commerce, and many more, and reestablish a vibrant public-private partnership that was a key engine for our economic development in the past. One of the key areas we definitely have to work on is improving our product. We have allowed town to degenerate into what some call a ghetto. That is not who we are. We have to reverse that image. We have to. Let us face it. Town needs a facelift. This is an urgent need. There is an urgent need for the beautification of Phillipsburg, including the marketplace, so we can restore it to its past glory. This will receive my full attention. The image of our island, our tourism product, is everybody's business. It is also true, and as often said, that what happens on one side of the island affects the other side as well. The late, great patriot Felix Choisy put in a more poetic language when he said, "The gale does not stop at the frontier." However, I get the feeling that we have been drifting away from that unity, which is the foundation upon which this whole island was built. We have to return to the ancestral spirit of oneness. And in that regard, I agree that actions speak louder than words. Therefore, I will be actively promoting close collaboration with the collectivité, and particularly with my counterpart in Marigot. St. Martin, despite its administrative division, is still and will always be one destination.
A delegation of the Parliament of St. Martin will be traveling this week to Paraguay to attend the 20th Parl Americas Plenary Assembly and 8th gathering of the Open Parliament Network. The invitation received by our Parliament to attend these meetings came about as a result of the quest of our Parliament to find and align with organizations that would better assist the Parliament of St. Martin in its role as a growing parliament. And Parl Americas is exactly about that, assisting parliaments and members of parliament in strengthening and improving the role of the legislature of a country, in this case of St. Martin, in general. Following some introductory discussions that I have had with the director of Parl Americas, the parliament or a delegation of parliament was invited to attend the sessions that I mentioned earlier. The focus of Parl Americas is very much on openness. Hence, the Open Parliament Network. In addition to openness, in other words, that connection of a parliament with its people, the matter of gender equality as well as climate change are very high on the agenda of Parl Americas. Parl Americas, for example, has developed tools that parliaments and members of parliament can use to promote, again, that openness, that transparency, that citizens' participation in the work of a parliament, in the work of developing, approving, and debating legislation. So attending these meetings are the members Jacobs, Emmanuel, Roseberg, myself, as well as the Secretary General of Parliament. It is expected that coming out of the meetings, which will be held in Paraguay, a declaration of commitment will be passed. Again, a declaration committing ourselves as a parliament and members of parliament to strengthen our role, in the execution of our task to better connect with the people who we serve.
SXM, your social and health insurance. SXM, your social and health insurances.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social and health insurances.
For all of life's twists, turns, and defining moments, RBC is open for all of you.
Over 4,000 traffic tickets with fines totaling $5.7 billion were issued by the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF in 14 of the 15 years the illegally imposed fines were on the books. That's according to the Economic and Social Survey published annually has revealed. But in order for motorists to collect their money back, the government is suggesting they show proof. Under the proposal filed in court on April 26 by the Director of State Proceedings, motorists eligible for a refund would need to provide Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ with the traffic ticket that was issued, a receipt showing that the fine was paid as well as their banking information. But one lawyer involved in the matter, Gavin Goff, thinks this is unfair.
It really should be that the government's records, their own records, which they use to prosecute and they use to fine people for not paying traffic tickets, those same records should be used to process the refund. And it is only where someone actually has a receipt which is not being reflected in their records that the receipt should take precedence. But where you actually have a record which shows that payment was made, nothing further should be required of the motorist. That's the argument that we have made.
A decision on the refund regime is expected on September 23 by the court. President of the National Association of Taxi Operators, Edgerton Newman, does not think anything will come from the ruling. Mr. Newman says it is not the first time the government has made a declaration similar to this, and they were not refunded.
It took us over 2 years, close to 2 years, 2 decades to get $1.8 billion from government in a matter we took many years ago to them. We have a situation where the government has promised to make a payment to us on fuel, and the rigmarole that we went through, 80% of our members did not get it because I heard about bank statement, bank information. And when you provide the bank information, let me tell you something, it's like pulling a teeth to get anything because they're going to tell you TRN is not right, this is not right, and then the time passed.
Kerry and Simpson, TVJ News.